Good morning. Hello. Happy Thursday. I hope that you're all having a great day today. I had a good day yesterday. Went into the office, tried to get a deploy done. Kind of did it. Kind of didn't do it. We're trying to shut down an old legacy server, which is always nice when you shut down systems. Sitsu, hello. Good morning. Uh, but of course that's gonna have to happen this morning after I finish streaming here. I'm gonna head up and turn off servers. Okay, so I brought down a little cave for Zilby to sort of hang out in, and he is not sure what to make out of it. So he's sitting next to me, staring at it. But he's been in this cave many times. Like I had it upstairs for him to get used to, and he's been in there. He enjoys it. He just is not sure about what to make of it down here. Hi. Do you wanna, no? Okay. He wants to go hang out underneath the chair. Okay, so what are we working on? So basically, I'm gonna have to leave a little tiny bit early. I want to be out of here by 8:15, so probably around 8 o'clock. I'll head out. Until then, what are we working on? Let's see. Get one task. Right. Okay. And so if we run, I ran our tests right before this. Don't want to do that. I want to do this. And yeah, everything is working. We just got the get one task is going to be next, which is inside of here. Okay. Uh, I think that's all good. I'm not I'm not sure if I need to sort of like think about anything else before we just start getting into it. Oh, I did create a new recording button. I don't know if you can see the history of the chat. Um, but here, if I press it, that's what we get. Two little messages come out that let anybody know that like, hey, I'm recording. I can't do anything right now. So hopefully I'll be able to press this if anybody comes in and says hi and I'm recording. I'll be able to say that. So I don't have an emote yet for recording. I don't know actually what one a good one would look like. I'll have to think about that. And if any of you have any suggestions, let me know. Maybe like a Ferris with like a little camera or something. Okay. So, get one task. That works well enough. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it should. All right, then here we go. I'm going to dive into it. So with that, let's get going. All right. Last time we were able to get all the tasks, and this time we're going to be getting one task. Okay, so just sort of reviewing through here really quickly, we should be able to get my one task. Okay, that's good. We should not be able to get a task when logged out, and we should not be able to get another user's task. So we can get the one that's logged out for free because we have that middleware. This one, we're just gonna have to double check that the user actually owns the task before we give it to them. Okay, so get one task. Let's go find this in their tests here. Okay, so here's get one task. I want to only on this and remove the skips. Okay, so if I rerun you, yeah, okay, exactly what we expect. All three of these are failing with Well, at least the first one's failing with a 404. So let's fix that part. Okay, so in project solution, I'm going to go to routes. Okay, so we have tasks. We're going to do a get one. Let's see. So we're going to have a pub async function get one task. Return that. Let's also go to our router and add this in here. Okay, so we have tasks, get one task, get one task with an extra E at the end. Okay, you're happy. And then I do want this above the middleware. Okay, so we're going to have route. All right, so this is going to be API / API v1 tasks. Now, we're going to want this to be a single one, and common rest tells us that it's going to be the ID of the task. So I'm going to do task ID here. The router is going to be that. Oh, well, not exactly that. It's going to be get with that. Okay, so far so good. You could also verify that we can get this task ID and just print this out to make sure I did that correctly. So in our get one task, let's take in the path, which is going to be the task ID, which is going to be path. This is going to be an ID. So it's a I32, I want to say. I keep on forgetting what the database types are. An I32, yes. And I should be able to just debug the task ID. Okay, great. So that should solve the 404 problem. Obviously, the test will still fail, but if I rerun this, we should be able to see this debug happen. Okay, so first of all, well, that one already works. We're getting the appropriate error message. So as I said, we got that for free. We got the task ID. Okay, 3603. We have a lot of tasks now. Okay, next up, we should be able to get my task. Well, this should, in my mind, be the same task that we have in mod here. This response task. No, not that mod. This mod. It should probably be the response data task, but instead of a vector, it's going to be a single task. That's my guess. We could also double check this in the test here. So I should be able to get my task. Yeah, data. So the data from Axios and then the data inside of it, and then just the task. So let's go to our mod. This is going to be a repeat of this specific one here, where I want you to be a response data task, which actually we already have that, don't we? Hold on. That's right here. We already have this response data task. Never mind. So let's let's just get into it. So get one task. Okay, so how to actually get the one task? Well, we need the database. So let's grab, that's gonna be state. So state, we want our database. It's gonna be state and our database connection. Let's see, what else do we need here? not exactly sure right away. We also want to make sure we have the right return type. So this is going to be a result. Inside the result, we're going to have, well, if we did this correctly, we're going to get a, what was this called? This is a response data task. Response data task singular or an app error. Okay. Let's throw a to do in here so it doesn't yell at us too much. And all right, so we know, oh, you know what? We need the user. So we have an extractor to use. Let's see, so state, path. We need a user. It's an extension. So it's not extensions. It's extension. We have user, and that's going to be extension. A model from user. Okay. That should be good. That should be everything we need right now. Also, this is bothering me. Go down there. Okay, so we want to do a database query. So we need to grab out the use create database tasks entity as tasks. Okay. Task, we're going to find. Now, we can do a find by ID here, can't we? So find by ID. The values is going to be this task ID. Okay. We can put a filter on this. So we can filter by the user ID. Okay. So that's going to be task column user ID is equal to a sum with the user.id. Okay. Then I guess we're just going to get one of these. Put in a reference to the DB. We'll await that. Then we have this error, right? Oh, we should also assign this to a user. So this is going to be a task, not a user. We're going to assign it to a task. Then we're going to map this error. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to map the error and have error here. We're gonna do our eprint line. So this is error when getting one task. Okay, and then if we do get that, after we print that out, we'll app error new, give it a status code. This should be a 500. Because if it successfully finds nothing, then that's not actually going to be an error here. That'll be an error. That'll just be a none at this point. Okay, so app error new status code. We want you to be internal server error. That's what it is. The message will be we got an error when attempting to load your task. I don't really have consistent tone with these error messages. They shouldn't ever really be displayed, but that's true of like all of these type of internal server error messages, and we all know that that's not completely the case in this project. I think we can we don't necessarily force the error, so we don't have any tests for it. Okay, and we'll question mark that. And now we have an option with that task. Okay, great. Now, if we don't have the task, we probably want to pretend, well, it's not really pretend. This route literally doesn't work. Like there's nothing to find. So it should probably be a 404 error. So we can do a let some task equals task. And I think, can we do an else? I don't think I can do like an else or anything else like that, can I? The problem is, what if there's a none in this? I don't think I can just like use this later. I think that will cause problems. So let's do a. I think we'll do an if let. Oh, we can do an if let none. So if let none, or we can just check to see if it's none. So if task is none. So if you're nothing, I want to do an early return. I want to do the early return of an error, and it's going to be an app error new. Let's do a status code of not found. So that will be a 404. And we couldn't find your task. I mean, which is true. It's not your task, or it doesn't exist. Okay. So there's that. Let's see. What else? What else do we want to throw in here? I don't think. Well, we need to now convert this over to the appropriate type of task now, too, don't we? Now, if we're going to need to convert it over anyways, perhaps what I want to do is actually do this as an if let sum. So let me convert this back over. So if let sum, we're going to have a task equals, this is going to be a task here. Now we get to this point, that's going to be great. We're going to do an else. Okay, so you should be happy there. Now I want this to be, this early returns out. This I want to return this is going to be a response task. So we need a semicolon here. So we're going to have a response task singular. I don't want a semicolon for you. Let's fill in your struct fields. Okay. So now we can fill this out from this task here. So ID is going to be, and I wonder, I haven't tried this before. I think I probably can come back to here, copy all of you with multi-cursor. Do all that. We'll do task dot and paste you in. Let's see if you're happy with that. You're all happy except completed at. Oh, right. Completed at wants to be a string, but we found this date time. So instead, let's map this completed at. So this will be a completed at, and we want to return a completed at toString. Okay. That way it'll be none, or it'll be some with actually just a string of the date now. Okay, that's good. That returns out. Okay, so we have a response task here. Now at the very bottom, we'll do our return. So we're returning an okay. JSON. Did we do this correctly? I did not. So this is going to actually be a JSON. Not that type. That type. With a response data task inside of it. Okay, so JSON response data task. We're going to have data, and that's going to be the response task. Okay. Can I find JSON? Did I forget? Did I not pull that in? I did not pull that in. Okay, so import you. We have no errors. Okay, so our server is already running. Let's rerun our tests and just see if everything is working now. No, we still got a failure. So, okay, we should be able to get my task. That's good. We should not be able to get tasks when we're logged out. We should not be able to get another user's task, and that failed because it wanted a much simpler error. So that is this one right here. We want it to be a 404. As we can see here, we expect it to be a 404, but we just wanted that to be the message. Okay, so let's try this again. This should cause them all to pass. Yeah, there we go. Greens. And let's come back into our tests, and we're going to remove the only. So we'll test everything. And I would imagine everything should still pass. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Green all the way down. All right. So that is getting one task. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this is helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Let's see. I missed a couple of you. Hello, Loki. Am I using guides? No, I don't think so. Well, I mean, I guess when I first started going through and learning Axum, I did use the Axum documentation, and I used some of their examples as guides. But now I'm just sort of using my own knowledge and creating a guide, if that makes sense. Coding Garden fan, hello. It's been a long time. How are you doing? Okay, so this is all good. Let's close all these down. We're getting one task, and then the next thing is going to be update a task. Now this is a lot of tests in here. Oh, you assumed that was GUIDs? For which part? The IDs? I do use GUIDs sometimes, but at least for this one, we're using IDs for the database. I guess it makes a little bit of sense just to have it auto create it. Oh, sorry. I totally missed that. You are correct. I missed the E. So sorry about that, Loki. Am I using GUIDs? No, I am not. I am for the IDs. We are using just the auto incrementing. Where is it? We're using just the auto incrementing I32s as far as Rust is concerned. And then I don't, user IDs is the same thing. It's an I32. I don't really have anything else that needs to be a GUID. And since this is like a introductory app, I figured we don't need to like go into the times when you possibly need that. All right, let's oh, I need to git commit this. Okay, so you are get one task, and next is the rename video name. Okay, so this is get one task. There we go with that, and we're good to go. Okay, next up is going to be the update. So it's 7:20 here. I have around 40 minutes or so. I don't know if that's going to be enough time. We're gonna start recording it, but I might have to put a cut into it. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, so jump back in here, close you up, back in here, and let's keep you open. We're almost to the end. Only a few more of these. All right, let's jump back into recording. All right, last time we got one task. Now it's time for us to do the update part. So not just getting things on their own, but we need to be able to update our tasks as well. So there's clearly a lot of tests in here. Let's go ahead and find them in our test file, and we'll put an only on, and then we'll remove these skips. So yeah, that's all of those. Okay, we'll save you. That should be good, and I should be able to run our tests again. I think with these, I'm creating users for each test because I have a before each on it. One test is already passing, so well that's good. Should not be able to mark other users' tasks as completed. So we're expecting to basically get some kind of error message for that. So that's good. All right, so should be able to okay. Should be able to mark a task as completed. Mark a task as not completed. All right, so we'll just go through one at a time and sort of figure these out. To begin with, we probably want an update task. Now, because there's a lot of stuff here, I want to look at what they're expecting. So let's find this first one. Should be able to mark a task as completed because I want to know if this is a put, is it a patch? Oh yeah, so this one is going to a different URL. So it's our base URL, task, the task ID, and then completed, and it's going to be a put. Okay, so it's a put to that, which will mark it as completed. Okay, so let's just work on that specific one first. Now I'm okay with tasks creating a just an update task, and we'll have like a few different routes inside of here. So update tasks. All right, so this is going to be mark completed, I believe. So we'll have a pub async function mark completed. Let's also head into our router and add that in here too. So this is tasks. We'll update tasks, mark completed. And we'll put this above the middleware, but below everything else. Okay, so route API v1. Okay, this is tasks. We have the task ID, and then completed, and then we remember that this is a put. So import you and put the name of the function in there. Okay, great. All right, so mark completed. What do we need to do this? We need the user. So we probably want to make sure we can't do someone else's task. So we're gonna need the user. We're gonna need the path. Okay, so let's do path first. So we have path. It's gonna be the task ID. So path, we know that this is going to be an I32. Okay, great. What's next? Well, we need the user. So this is an extension with a user inside. That's extension. And this is a model. Okay. We need the database. So that's a state. So our DB, that's going to be state with a database connection inside of it. All right. Is there anything else that we necessarily need in here? I don't know. If I do remember, we're gonna grab it out then. Okay. We're gonna return a result. I don't know if we expect to get anything back. Let's take a look at this. So we Axios post. Oh, look at this. I'm not even getting anything here. We're just hitting this. We're not passing in any data whatsoever. And then we're testing the database itself to make sure that it happened. So we're going to return nothing and then an app error. Okay, let's throw a to-do in here. Okay, so let's see. So we have this path extension state. I think what we could do is just do the update at this point. So we can do no, it would be we need the entity. So we have this database here. I can just use this. So we have tasks, entity as tasks. And then inside of here, we're going to do tasks. Now, I need to grab it. So we're going to do let. This is going to be our task to update. It's going to be singular. So we're going to find by ID. We'll use the task ID. We want to filter this out so we can only do our own. So that's going to be tasks column user ID is equal to a sum user.id. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to filter out necessarily? I don't think so, because even if it's already marked as done, if we're just trying to mark it as completed again, I think we just sort of set it to a new date. So I don't necessarily think there's a problem there. Okay, so we'll get 1 db, we await, we map the error. Okay, so error. We'll do an eprint line. Okay, so error, getting task to update it. And then we'll create an app error. Okay, this should be an internal server error. Insufficient storage. How did I get that? I want internal server error. And then this is just an error happened. So an error happened. Sorry. We return you. We question mark you. Now that gives us an option here. Now, if this is an error, okay, so let's do our. We want to turn the task into an active task. Okay, so we want to turn this into an active task if we have it, and if we don't have it, we want to return an error. Okay, so we're gonna do I'm going to shadow task here. So this is going to be an if let sum. We have this task equals task. Okay, so if we have the task, I'm going to do task and then to something about an active into active model. That's what it is. We return that. Now, otherwise, we're going to do a hard return of an error, app error. We'll have a status code of not found. And based upon that last error that we had in the last one, we're just going to put not found in here. And semicolon u. Okay, so now we have a task, and this is an active model, so we can make changes to it. And the only change we want to make is to set the completed at to a new date. So specifically, we go into our database. We want you to become, where is this? Completed at, it's gonna be an option. Okay, so that's gonna be a sum. We want this date time with time zone. Okay, so I think we can do that with chrono here. So let's come back to update tasks. So I want let's do now equals, can I just, no, I can't really just do now. REST Analyzer won't really find this. Let's go searching. So I think it's somewhere under like UTC. Okay, so use chrono UTC. There we go. Now, okay, that gives me a date time. Now, can I turn this into a date time with time zone? So format, date naive. We can maybe do an into. There is a naive local and a naive UTC. Timestamp doesn't seem right. Time zone, no, that's probably not right. With time zone, which is a date time with a time zone. So maybe this is what we want. Although this has, oh wait, no, this is setting what time zone it's going to be. That's not what we want. We want with like the user's time zone. And maybe this will just work. I can't remember what we did. We did this before, especially during the lessons. We had this in. Wait seconds. Okay. Let's just do this and sort of see what it yells at. Okay, so we have a now. I want to do a task dot completed at. We want to set you. So we want to be a set. So import set. That's going to be a sum. And with now, let's see how much it hates it. Okay, so it expects mismatch types, expected struct, chrono, date time, fixed offset, found date time UTC. Okay, so we want a fixed offset. Now, first of all, can I do an into? No, I can't do an into. Oh, wait, can I assign to it? Okay, maybe I can. Mute. That doesn't need, okay, can I assign? Oh, now, okay. Now it doesn't need to be mute2. The task needs to be mutable. Okay, here we go. Mute you. Oh yeah, I can just do an into. Perfect. Okay, so once we have that set, and this is the only thing we need to set to mark it as complete, then we're going to do a task dot save. Pass it a reference to the database. We await. We're going to map the error. Okay. So an error. This is going to be a another eprint line. So we have error saving. I guess like error marking task as completed. Pass in that error. And then we want to return an app error. So this is going to be a status code internal server error. And I guess this is going to be like error while updating completed app. Okay, so that gives us this new task. It's been saved. We don't need to return anything. So if it's done the thing, we don't really care, which means now we're ready to just return. So we're going to return an OK with that. And that should be happy. Argument never used. Well, that's because I forgot that. All right. You're happy now. Let's run the test. Let's see at least if we get past this first one. Maybe. Hey, okay, so we got past the first one. We've also done another one. So we should not be able to mark others as completed. We should not be able to mark others as not completed. Okay, so 3 tests passing now. That's great. Should be able to mark a task as not completed. Okay, so what does this look like in our tests? So should be able to mark a task. So this is actually going to an uncompleted route. So it's very similar, except we're going to be setting that to be a null. So let's go back into update task again. This is actually should be very similar. I'm going to just copy this and then we're going to update it. Okay, so we have a mark uncompleted. Let's go ahead and pull this into, let's see, so our mod needs to, no, our mod doesn't need to know about this, just router needs to know about this. So we have update tasks, mark uncompleted, and then a new route for this. So task ID, I think it was uncompleted there, and then mark uncompleted here. Okay. Back to update tasks. All right, so we have the path again. We have the extensions and the state. Okay, great. Find by, okay, so we find the task by the ID. That's good. If we don't find it, we just not found it. If we do find it, I don't need the new timestamp at all. Completed at, we're going to set this to a none. That should set it to be a null. And then we save you. Okay, so then this is going to be an error while updating. Well, okay, that's the same thing. So let's see if this makes this test pass. And if so, that will be a fast second sort of follow-up to it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we successfully uncompleting the task. Okay, great. Next up, we should be able to update all the fields in the task. Okay, well, what does that mean? Let's go into our tests here. So we should be able to update all fields in the task. Okay, so we create a task. Here's what the initial task looks like. We're going to do a patch on this, and we're going to pass in the update task. And the update task is going to have a new priority. It's going to have a title, a description, and a completed at. So we need to like at least update these fields. Okay, and it's going to be a patch. So we're only necessarily doing pieces of it. We don't necessarily need to handle an atomic update. Okay. Let's head back into here and we're going to create just because it's easier to sort of grab all these things, and I think they're very similar. I'm just gonna once again copy you, and this is gonna be fairly different. This is gonna be like update task. Let's go bring that into our router too. And we will add you in here. Okay, so we have a path, task ID. I think if we do this with just a patch, come on, select you, a patch, and then you're going to be just update task. Okay. Update task. We have our task ID, we have our user, we have our database. We also need to take in the task, don't we? So this is going to be a JSON object. Now, what are we taking in? Let's take a look. So this is going to have priority, title, description, and completed at. So we have a request task, priority, title, description, and completed at. Okay, so if I add you in, so description completed at, you're going to be an option with a string, which is going to be fine because we don't really care. We're just going to throw that in there, or maybe we need to parse it out. I'm not sure. Now, title, we might not take in. So this may need to become an option now with a string. That's going to be fine, but it's going to cause one of our other things to break. Maybe? Maybe not? Nothing's yelling at us yet. Okay. Well, if it does break, we'll go fix it. Okay, so update task. So this is going to be a request task. So we're going to want a JSON extractor. This is going to be the request task. That's going to be JSON and request task. Okay. We have to make sure that this goes at the bottom because it consumes the body and nothing else can extract out after the JSON happens. Okay, so we have our request task here. So first of all, we find the task. That should be exactly the same. We turn it into an active model. That's also great. Now we do the actual update. So in this case, let's see what we're setting. So we're going to do task dot. Well, we can't do ID. We can do completed at. So task dot completed at equals set. Well, this is set to none. We want to set this to be. Oh, it's also going to be a date time fixed offset. I wonder if I can actually just. I wonder if Surday will work with this. In completed at. I wonder if I can just do that. Can't find you. So import you and then import you. Hey, okay. So it looks like Surday is going to be able to import this in exactly as I need it, which is going to be great. So that means your set is now going to be the request task dot completed at. And that's already an option in there, so that's great. Okay. We don't need this completed at set anymore. Okay, what's next? We have task dot so complete at delete it. I don't believe we're changing right now. Description. Okay, this is gonna be a set. Now, is this right? Because it might be a none, but if it's a none, that actually means we're not really changing it, is it? So I actually want this to be to check to see if it exists in the field. Oh, but then you know what? We also need to check to make sure that we're not purposely setting it to none. So these all need to be double options, which double options are not natively supported by Serde. But there was a crate that we used, which I kind of forgot what it was. So we may have to go look at our the data section and just remind ourselves in cargo.toml what we used. I think it was it in here or was it in one of the other ones? So here's Serde. I think it was it Serde with. It might have been Serde with. Let's go take a look at crates. It was Serde with. Serde with. There we go. And somewhere in here, I believe was a double option. Oh, it's not in their documentation out here. So it's not on their landing page. But inside the documentation, is there a search for option? Here it is. Double option inside of here. Makes a distinction between a missing, unset, or existing value. So if we explicitly set to null, it will be a sum none. Otherwise, it'll be a none if it's just missing. Okay, so this is what we need to do. So we need to pull in Serde with. So I am going to stop my cargo watch. We're going to do a cargo add Serde with. And okay, so chrono. Well, there's chrono, there's JSON. Those two features, I'm not completely sure if we need them or not. I don't remember. Well, I mean, take a look here. We don't need them clearly because everything seems to be working. If it's changed since I've last used this, it will obviously break for us. So I'll keep these in mind just in case we do need them. But until then, it is installed now. Let's restart our server. It's cargo watch dash x run. I'll just sort of let that go in the background. It's probably going to fail because I'm in the middle of writing this. Okay, so in our mod for this, so request task. Okay, we need to go remember how this works. So we drive serialize and deserialize. We have the struct, and then we have this Serde with, and then that's going to be for each one. That might have to be for each one. I don't remember off the top of my head. I do remember it felt annoying. So that would be request task. So let's say if the priority is missing, I want you to be an option is none. Okay, so serialize. Oh, and then you need to be an option here now, right? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna add an option over everywhere. And then I think we have to do you for all of you. So hey, title might be option. So if we're missing now, actually, is this true? I cannot unset the title. So I cannot remove the title. So this is fine. If the title is set to something, we're just changing it. Otherwise, we're not doing anything to it. Like we can't remove it. The description, however, so let's move you down. The description we can actually set to a none. So you become an option like that. Completed at. This is also like we can set you to a null if we're uncompleting you. So this can be an option like that. Okay, so back to here. We're gonna have to change this around a little bit. Let's look at our database to sort of guide us. Database tasks. So we can't change the ID at all. We're not going to try to, but the priority we can set to none because we can have no priority, or we can have a priority set, to whatever we set to. Okay, so this is the first one, and we've got our priority set to this option. So I'm going to remove you two, and we're going to start over this. Okay, so if let sum, this is going to be so if let sum priority equals, this is going to be the request task dot priority. Okay. We have the priority and then it's an option, right? So if you're set, we're updating it. Now, if you're a something, I want to set you to be whatever this is. Otherwise, it's a nothing. But I think at this point, I can now set it to be whatever this is. Because if it's a none, it's going to, okay. So now we can then do the task, which is that mute active model. We do a priority equals a set priority. And that's it. That's all we need to do. Now we just repeat this for everything else. So go back to here. Next up, title. So if let sum title equals request task dot title. So we're going to do task. Now this is already just a string, so it's actually this. It's exactly the same. So task dot title equals set to title. Okay, great. What's next? Completed at is next. Okay. So if let sum completed at equals request task dot completed at. Okay, so we have that option in here, and it's that datetime fixed offset. So I think we're still good. Task dot completed at equals to be set completed at. Okay, no errors so far. Description. Okay. If let sum description equals our request task dot description task dot description equals, we want to set that to be the description. Okay. Deleted at, I don't know if I want them to delete at using this method. I believe we have a completely different system for marking deleted at. I don't want anybody to assign it to a new user, and I don't want us to be able to set it to like not or be default anymore. So I think that's it. I think that's all we need to do. Then we're at description. Then we save the task and we're good to go, and we don't return anything at all. Then the test will check the database and make sure it's good. Let's see if this works. So back to our tests. And let's see. Hey, okay, and everything passes. So we now are successfully updating the task. Okay, great. Let's now I don't have any warnings, so that's good. Let's go and remove that only. So we'll run all the tests and make sure that everything is still working the way we expect it to. Which I can't imagine it's going to, but you know what? We did add like the option for the request task, so that could actually cause problems in the that could cause problems in like the create task potentially. So let's see if that's the case. No, everything is still working as expected. Okay. Well, this is the reason why we have tests, right? We could just make those refactors, and if everything still works, then we're good to go. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and put this up to GitHub. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. All right. I'm surprised that worked surprisingly well. I did forget about the Serde with. Such a nice library. I like that library a lot. Okay, so here's you. Let's close you. You just imported Serde with yourself. Yeah, it's so good. Okay, so we have you, and what is next? Oh, using the skip serializing none. Oh yeah, so you don't send nulls up like with big objects. Yeah, I haven't used that one yet. The double option is like to me one of the most important ones because you want to know if somebody's explicitly setting something to null. Okay, so what is next? Oh, I actually just need to look at the test. Man, we only have 2 left. We have soft delete a task. Okay, so soft delete a task. We'll add you in there, and okay, so you're good to go. On up. Okay, so this is recorded video for soft. I guess I'll just do soft deleting task. Push you on up and rename that video. Wait, soft delete? No. Wait, did I just name that soft delete? It just like my mind was just thinking about the other thing. No, this is updating task. Well, that commit message, I could revert it, but I'm not gonna change it. It's there forever. It'll just confuse people. Sorry about that. Update task is okay. So I wrote that in there. You're writing YAML files, and they all had null, and adding the attribute to each field was tedious. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If you have like a really large configuration object that you're dealing with, I could see that being a problem. I haven't run into that yet. I also don't haven't written any apps that consume YAML before. Like usually you would just convert it to JSON and then do that, right? Oh, I guess Serde could handle YAML, can it? Serde should be able to handle it all. All right. Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I do need to head off to work a little bit early today for shutting down a server, which is always nice. If you've done that, you know what it feels like when you get to turn off entire services. It's sort of like deleting large amounts of code, except now you have one less thing to support, and it's the best feeling ever. The only negative is that there's no more physical servers for us to go take out and toss into the trash. So we don't get to do that. We just turn off AWS services. So With that, I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to work on soft deleting a task. Maybe even we can even get to creating the creating an account. Why is it? Oh, users should get default tasks. I think we already did that. Like, I think that's just gonna work for free because I think we had to do that for some of the previous ones. Hmm. So yeah, we might be done with recordings. I think we're gonna have a secret last one, which is going to be refactoring to put the. Yeah, let's just write this in here so I don't forget. We're gonna have soft delete task. Potentially we're gonna have uh um like set up default tasks. So here. It's like new users should get default tasks. And then refactor uh database queries to module. I want to refactor those database queries to their own modules. So they're not inside the routes, but the routes then call out to those ones. So we can share a little bit. We can potentially also have some like there's a bunch of times where we do like get a user, get a single task. We can then consolidate those all into a single thing, which then should make it a little bit easier, especially if we need to update that in the future. Which I mean, we won't need to, most likely. I'm gonna guess the next time Axum updates. But okay, let's think we're good to go here. So with that, again, thank you all for hanging out with me today. I'll be back tomorrow morning for recording this. Have a great rest of your day and see you then. Bye.